Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Rider 1 from the 300 Riders Club. Now, I want to show you guys a little trick and some tips when dealing with your upper control arm in the ball joint. A lot of people have this problem if you're a do-it-yourselfer and you need to either change the spindle, which is this here, or you need to do some type of repairs on it, take it off, or if you need to change the upper control arm. A lot of times this right here gets damaged, right? Like me, I made the mistake of when I was trying to get the spindle off, right? I'm banging here and the hammer slips, and then you damage some of the grooves on the screw, right? So the first tip that I did it years ago, a few years ago when I first got the car, and I had to replace the whole thing, right? About 150 bucks, okay, to replace this whole thing when it was only this piece here. So this time what I did, now this time I found a tip that when doing that, before you take the screw completely off, when you want to break the spindle loose, again, this is the spindle here, this piece here, right? It holds the wheel, the brakes and everything like that. So when you want to break this piece off, for whatever reason, whether you have to change your ball joint or something like that, you need to bang it here, right? Or you could, of course, you could use the tie rod, separator, or you could just bang it. So I took the bang option, all right? But what I found out is that what you could do is when you're banging it, to protect the grooves, is keep the screw on it, okay? Loosen the screw, keep the screw on it, and that way when you're banging it, right, when you're banging it with your sledgehammer or your hammer to get it loose, it'll protect the grooves, okay? But let's say you did like I did and you took the screw off and you started to bang it and you made a mistake and hit some of the grooves. So what I did was this. I bought this right here. I bought this small filer, right? It's a small one here. I bought this small filer and I took it. Now make sure you're careful that you don't damage the other grooves. But I took it and I started to, file down where the damage was done. And as you can see, I made it, let me see if I can focus in. I made it where I was able to get it where the groove was opened up again, okay? And therefore the screw would go on, okay? So that's the first thing, all right? First thing. If you do make a mistake and you hit it and you damage the grooves, you can get a small filer like this. This is a small one here, as you can see, right? Now, I don't know if the big ones will fit. They might be too big, so you want to get like a small filer with the triangular shape, right? Triangle shape here, and that way you can fit one of the edges into the grooves. I filed it down, and now the screw goes on. Okay, so let's see here. So the screw goes on. Real simple here. Now, the next problem that people run is, you can see it's screwing all the way up, no problems. Now some people have a problem that when trying to screw it back on, the whole piece of the screw end of the ball joint, upper ball joint, will start to move completely. So then you can't tighten it because the whole thing is spinning as you're trying to tighten it. All right. Now, some people didn't know, but maybe you do know, just in case, is that if that happens, what Chrysler did is underneath here, let's see if you can see that, they put, see that right there? They put a little hole where you could use an Allen key, all right? I've read online, they said you could use the 6mm, all right? Problem is, I don't know what happened to mine because I know I didn't do any damage to that part, but I guess over time, driving, rain and the weather conditions, it starts to rust under there. So when I tried to stick my Allen key in there, it was totally stripped, and like I said, I never hit it, and I never hit underneath there or anything like that. So I assumed that just because of the rust, it just got weathered and worn, and the rust just ate at it, and when you tried to stick it up in there, it didn't do anything. So now, if that happens, you're wondering, like, well, what can you do? Once again, instead of going out and trying to spend 150 bucks to just replace that whole piece, or even trying to go through the frustration of trying to take out the this upper ball joint, which is also difficult to do, here's a trick that I found. Now, this is not my trick. I got two tricks, but I'm going to give you the first one. The first trick or tip is you can do this. You get a C-clamp, right? You get a C-clamp, normally one of the small ones. Get a small C-clamp. You can get it from Home Depot at a pretty good cheap price, right? Or Walmart. Normally it comes with this piece here, okay? So you want to get this piece off. You can bang it off or whatever to get it taken off. And then what you do is you take this C-clamp. See that part right there? You want to take that, and as you put the screw on it, all right, if it starts to spin and you can't, you know, tighten it, and your the underneath part, as I showed you, the underneath part there, if it's stripped out and you can't get your Allen key to work anymore, this tip that I learned, and it worked, is to take the C-clamp here, all right, and make sure you're gonna need it like this. You have to get it like this, because if you keep the flat end, it won't work. So you need to get that piece to stick up in there like that. Okay, see that? That's gonna go in there, and you clamp down on the on this ball joint right here. Okay, and as you clamp down, it'll then hold that screw end firmly, so then you can tighten the screw right here. It's much easier, quicker. Like I said, just get the C-clamp, break off the flat end part so that way it can fit underneath you know, the nut, clamp down, and, you know, tighten the clamp, and it'll hold the, you know, the receptacle area in place while you tighten. This is how you would screw it all together. Or if you have to take it off, same thing. If it gets if you notice that when you're trying to take it off that the nut and the receptacle piece is spinning, you could also clamp it like this, you know, loosen the nut, make sure to bang the spindle first so it comes loose, keep the nut there so it protects the grooves. You can bang it, it comes loose. And then if you notice that the nut is spinning with the whole receptacle piece, then you can tighten it to take it off as well. So you can use it to put it on and to take it off. And there it is, attached with the whole spindle piece attached and right there. All right, so take care, everybody. Ride on.